How come this? Oh, it's because. Right. I haven't brought them back yet. Okay. You know, let me. Should I get? I want to try to get White Mage to this 80, but Killer gods, it's good to see you. I hope your being here means you've had your fill of rest. Well, you certainly earned it. Not much has happened since you last visited. I had planned for you to meet the helper I told you about, but he refused to answer his link pro. I do hope he's alright. We've been exchanging messages with the Eorzean Alliance too. Though they say the fighting has finally stopped at Golem something dark, and that the Emperor has shown no sign of movement, which means we might actually have a moment to ourselves for a change. Seeing as you're back, maybe you could tell me more about your time in the purse. Oh great, if you don't mind, I would like to ask someone to join us. She'll want to know what happened to Minfilia and the others. And I think it's best she hears it from you. We'll meet you at the terrace, the House of Slender. House of Splendor. Okay, that's taking much longer than normal. Because it usually does take a while to load. But it's taking extra long. So it takes a while to load up because one, my PC is slow, and two, this free trial is downloaded on a external hard drive, not the main hard drive, because there's not enough space on the main hard drive. It has been too long. Taro did mention that I would be joining you, did she not? Hey, words cannot well express how I have longed to know more of this world Minfilia sacrificed so much to save. But come rest your feet. Tatara should be arriving shortly. So, Minfilia chose to pass on her gift to a next oracle, this girl who Thancred named Ring. to have such a burden thrust onto her as a child, only to embrace it when given the chance. In that respect, they are quite alike. It would seem her legacy is indeed in capable hands. Jintaro, might I ask your favor if you, when you next return to the forest, tell Reen what I cannot? Tell her, thank you. And I would offer thanks to you as well for staying with her to the end. Begging your pardon, but could I have a word? Real? I hope you're here to tell me you received word from our helper. I wish, nay, I've not had a peep out of him in good long while now, too bloody long. On account of which, I'm going to sneak over to the border and see if I can't get signal to him from closer up. But what if they catch you? There must be another way. Well, it ain't as if we could ask Anchor to do this. Besides, I should have no trouble picking me way through something now. The fighting's died down. Gods know there's enough shadows to hide in. Ain't it beats waiting round, twiddling my thumbs any road. I just thought I'd let you know I'd best be. I nearly forgot. Crowds at the stone, and she wants a word. Something to do with the patient. She was getting ready to examine him again when I left. We must head back then. Sure, it's important. Geronimo! It was a sack. Oh, it's cute. Seems she's still examining them. I had nothing bad.
You're here. Good.
So, how are they?
Still
locked in slumber, but otherwise in good physical health.
For the present,
at least.
For the
For the
present.
present.
Oh
Oh
no.
no,
Is
is something wrong with them?
I'm
I'm
afraid
afraid there may be.
I
I summoned you after detecting faint signs of instability in Thancred's corporeal ether. But subsequent examination suggested all five might be affected.
And when
And when I examined them just now,
my fears
fears
were
were
confirmed.
confirmed. Tellingly, the degree of instability varies between them. Thancred exhibits the most notable signs, followed by Yustola and Brianche. The twins' ether meanwhile remains relatively stable, but there is a change there too if one knows to look for it.
Hold on. Isn't that the order they were pulled away in?
Indeed, which leads me to believe the instability will only increase with time.
Though
Though
I can but speculate, I fear this may be a symptom of a weakening link between body and soul. By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain.
This is all unknown territory to us. Yet whatever happens, it cannot be good.
Mercifully, the instability is still only slight, and you may rest assured Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power to keep it from worsening.
Be that as it may, it is imperative you find a way to restore our friends' souls to their bodies.
Thank you.
But where's he supposed to start? We had the greatest minds in the realm hunting high and low for an answer, and they ran out of places to look. You stated in your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct? Raha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die in the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might have worked, but I for one am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while longer. There is another way, I am sure of it, and the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the first and apprise him and the others of the situation. We meanwhile will do what we can from here, and, if the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
I gotta put up these. Gotta get my black mage up. You have returned. I hope your time in the source was suitably restful. But of course, I wasn't. Go on. The corporeal ether shows signs of instability. By the gods, the possibility never even occurred to me. If you have returned in the hopes that my research has yielded such, I fear you will be sorely disappointed. 'Tis but a mercy we have the likes of Mistress Crow and Master Matoya to keep our friends' bodies safe while we are wrestling with the problem. But they cannot foretell the separation of body and soul indefinitely come, as must be told.
Excuse my late arrival.
Well, thank you for not joining us.
Nay, lady. With apologies to all, they beg leave to pursue their investigation of the empty to its conclusion. Should matters here demand their presence, however, they did assure me that they would make themselves available.
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed. I think it's best that you begin by providing a summary of Mistress Trial's findings.
I suppose it was only to be expected that something should occur.
Yet our souls seem unaffected, to my eye at least. How long they will remain so is another question. Kran is right. It is imperative we find a way to return to the source.
Perhaps an explanation of the method by which I brought you here will yield some inspiration. Ere I begin, it must be noted that I am by no means a gifted mage. In order to employ powerful magics, I must rely upon the Crystal Tower and its boundless reservoirs of energy. The magic which summoned you was no exception. It is a singular spell, adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the first. To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed. Though I succeeded in creating said hole, I failed to latch onto my intended target. Instead of you, the spell found those close to you, and ended up summoning them in their incomplete state. I would not soon throw my life away, not after the lengths you and yours went to save it. And so long as I breathe, I will spare no effort to see you safely home. But should all else fail, and your lives be at stake, there remains one sure method.
What was that for? How can you even entertain such thoughts? You owe your life to the warrior of light, and you don't die unless he says so.
Your followers await your divine judgment. If
If the two of you are finished, perhaps we could return to our discussion?
Rather than dwelling upon the multiple failed attempts at transference, I think it would behoove us to focus on the solitary success. I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magic to which we are all accustomed. Magic that allowed the transportation of those inanimate objects one considers to be an extension of oneself.
Are you suggesting that simply by considering us as possessions, you could carry our souls back to the source of one whose person?
Well, it would be nice if things were that simple for change. But
Vague notions of ownership seem rather tenuous things to stake our lives on.
So much as a moment to Daniel's part, and we'd be left floating in the rift.
Milady has the right of it. The requisite fixity of belief would be too much to ask even of our friend. Yet were we to immure ourselves within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured. White Orside would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massive soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease. We would need only to ensure our soul's safe preservation inside the stone, and identify a means by which they might be transferred back onto our vacant bodies.
Soul preservation and transference. I believe I know of someone who may be able to assist us. On the far shore of the source, there stands a great palace built by the elves. It was forsaken in the wake of the flood, but a certain merchant chose to make their home there soon after. Though they had long lived as a recluse, they once occupied a place of honour in Verbert's royal court, and it is said that none in all of Northrend is more knowledgeable than they on matters of the soul.
Well, I have no objection to seeking their help in hand, but if they've gone to such lengths to hide themselves away from the world, what makes you think they'd be willing to lend us one?
A worthy question. Years ago, I myself tried and failed to solicit their cooperation in a battle against the Sins. No sooner had I begun to make my plea than they unleashed a swarm of their familiars upon me. Unlike me, however, you have curried favour with the Faithfolk. By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience. They may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your return home, we have to try.
The Grand Cosmos, that is the palace we seek, stand on the opposite shore of the source. I will arrange for a boat to carry us there. Whilst thou journeyest something, I think it best that I devote mine energies to the creation of White Orside by the leave, of course. The process requires no small amount of time, and should the Numo consent to lend us their aid, we will have need of suitable vessels ere long. Agreed. Then I would ask the rest of you to meet me in Solon, and do be prepared for a warm reception. Pray, join others, I shall return them. I gotta cut my nails. My nails are long right now. I have to show you who to step foot on the past round when I was set upon by host commanders and I expect our reception to be no different, which is why I propose we match the main gates, weapons down. I'm sorry, but we are not here to petition for assistance. You can't honestly think our barging in looking for a fight is going to pursue them. Actually, I believe the XR may have the right of it. They have no doubt poured a great deal of time and energy into their creation, where I should be most interested to meet with those who could overcome my defense. As would any true seeker of knowledge, and there is a little we can say or do to convince them to help us, if we know nothing of their character, nor less why they chose to hide themselves from the world. But if we can seize this interest, their interest in it, we can earn ourselves an audience. Weapons ground. Was it? I must say, XR, you certainly seem to be enjoying all of this. Do I? Well, I will not deny that I enjoy the thought of fighting alongside you, or rather than pacing about inside the tower. You go to sitting by the high spread. If you ask me, not that I'm surprised. Your mood instantly improved when Jidara is around. What exactly are you implying? He averted a calamity, and the light, which seems destined to consume him, has been extinguished. it's only natural that we be pleased to see him. Yes, but we will have plenty of time to celebrate his good health after we finish him. Of course, then let us proceed to the palace. Okay, just give me a time to eat this. Astro. I see. Is he back here? Did he come back? Yeah, he is back. I was wondering, like, after he helped us, if he would have actually went to someplace else, but nah, he came right back. What? It's called the source, and it's called it's called the source. I didn't realize it was called the source. Source. Why is it called the source? What is this? Okay, that's interesting. Damn. I hate when I feel like I gotta, I feel like I got a loogie stuck in my throat. Or phlegm, or whatever people call it. So annoying. This would be a really nice spot to make like a little house. Of course, you're gonna have to put like a protection thing here, protection spell on it. So that way if this thing wakes up again and it goes diving deep under the water, you'll be safe. So long as you stay inside of the building, inside of the house. I don't know why, for some reason, I feel like there's a dungeon that I haven't unlocked yet. I don't know if I feel like it should be in Shadowbringer, but in the dungeon, we're on this giant whale's back, and then we come out here. We're underwater. We're sailing underwater, and then stuff comes here. Monsters come here. We beat them, and he goes in between like the craters and stuff like that. More enemies come up, and then he uses his breath to open up a bubble in a particular place that we have to go and fight there. Yet I didn't see that that dungeon yet. Haven't seen that dungeon yet, so I wonder if it's still in the game or if they removed it or something, because I know they changed a lot of stuff. Oh, that's such a pretty view. This is really pretty. I wonder if any senators ever came here. They've had any problem with the senators in the past 100 years. Oh, Borksy! I just realized, dang. Kinda hot. Nope, I don't see nothing. What the heck? I don't see anything. Here it is. That took a while to load in. Okay. Loading sucks, man.
That was my fifth failure. Oh, impressive.
They're so cute.
Hello, it's good to see you again after all these years. And judging by your vigorous greeting, I dare say that you'd be thoughtful. To be sure, a simple shake of the hand would have sufficed by way of welcome, but I shan't complain. But you must be wondering as to the purpose of our visit. We come to beg your assistance in a most urgent matter.
Shake? Beg?
Our comrades' very souls are in danger. If we are to save them, we will need the benefit of your unsurpassed knowledge of that. Please, will you not sit and hear our plea?
Oh, how dare you! How dare you speak thus in my presence!
It was to escape such words of temptation that I hid myself from the world of men. You are Shadow's one and all, and I swore never again to have any part in your affairs.
I can only imagine what terrible events forced you into a life of seclusion. But I know that the Mo are a good and noble folk. It is not in your nature to turn a blind eye to the plight of those around you. And in treating with us, I am certain whatever mistrust you feel for man will begin to heal.
Such good boys.
If you will not be satisfied, I suppose I can listen. After all, there's no harm in just... No, I must not again. But damn court made seem to have the best intentions too, and countless citizens died for my naivety. Oh, no, not what you asked of me. What horrors my knowledge has wrought. You wish only to save your friends. Nothing more. Do you swear it? No. No. Oh, very well. I will hear your petition, but that is all. And I expect fitting payment for my troubles.
Commensurate with your contribution to our cause. No more and no less, I promise you. With that settled, might I impose upon you to join us at the Crystarium? I'm afraid the nature of my friend's predicament calls for absolute secrecy.
There you have it. The others have gone ahead of the Crystal Tower with... for the record, I truly wish we hadn't had to resort to using such words when treating with them. I have ever sought to convince, not compel. Yet I cannot deny that a part of me is glad Orianji shared his knowledge of the new mole with us. Had he not, I wouldn't be here. Speaking of whom, we should hurry to keep guests only insult injury. We mustn't dally here any longer. Juntaru, if is to hear the truth of our travels in the first, you of all people should be present. Oof. Feel like eating some popcorn. Puppy popcorn. I'll probably save it for later. Oh damn, I didn't even realize it was... Jeez. So I guess I'm only gonna be streaming for 2 hours tonight, because I got on really late.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me not only that the return of night was your doing, but that you hail from another world as well?
Everything we told you of the souls, the shards, the seven upward calamities, all of it is true. I realize how fantastic it sounds, and I would not blame you for doubting our testimony. But given your expertise, you must surely have noted the peculiar nature of their souls.
Any other time I would dismiss your stories as balderdash and flummery, but upon closer inspection, 'tis plain their souls are far denser than is normal, and that they do not possess true bodies. Save you. Your body is your own, and your soul is the densest of them all.
As I said before, were it not for their heroism, the skies over Northrend would still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of all three insidious. After all they have done for her, seeing them safely back to their home seems the very least we can do.
Your tale is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply weird is fitting payment itself. As for your friends, I cannot agree. Their valorous deeds on behalf of Northrend are deserving of recognition of their own fitting payment.
You will help us then?
I will see my knowledge put to good use for a change. I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Merle I once was. As such, I will require assistance in my fieldwork and testing.
It would be our pleasure. We'll be late for our own benefit after all.
You have spun quite a tale, but tell me, have you given any thought as to how you might return to your world? Like oversight, you say? An intriguing purpose, but one which failed to account for the present state of your souls. They have become highly charged, likely as a consequence of having maintained tangible form for so long. In such an energetic, unstable state, there is no telling what may happen to their souls within the oversight. They could very well become immutable to transference, never to be restored to their bodies. And would it be possible to force our souls into a state of dormancy prior to transference? In theory, yes, but the soul is not a candle to be snuffed out and relit on a whim. Well, that sounds ominous. What exactly would rendering our souls dormant entail? In order to maintain a corporeal form, your souls constantly draw ether from your surroundings. This process must be halted and the resultant surfeit of ether removed. Your minds will ultimately be separated from these fugue bodies of yours, rendering you incapable of interacting with the world around you. A cruel fate under normal circumstances, but one which will be something upon your return home. Leaving lifeless husk like those poor souls at the end of corrupt by the ether made stagnant by the light. Corrupted, stagnant? Might I see this unfortunate individuals? Why do you think you might be able to stop them? To help them? I might, or I might not, but I shan't know for sure until I have seen their conditions firsthand. Then I shall be glad to take you to them on the understanding that you won't do anything which might increase their suffering. It was my faith in man I lost, not my compassion. Though I see no need for us to accompany you while you are escort our guests to the inn, I will assist Oriange in creating the I believe my talents would be better applied to that endeavor as well. Might I leave the three of you to assist? Let us make for Amarang. I was wondering why I couldn't see it. So this is yes, his etheric balance leans physically towards the light, towards stasis. What do you suppose will happen to him? Not too bright, are you, boy? The same as all poor souls corrupted by the light, he will become a Sin Eater. You didn't know that? We've defeated the Wardens and banished the light from the night sky. Hellrick was completely unresponsive before, but now... Then perhaps there is yet hope. If I may, there is a treatment I wish to administer to the patient. What sort of treatment? In the case of my studies of the soul, I once created a tonic which would temporarily stimulate the ether in one's body. After some refinement, it came to be used by the Knights of Verberg, then for far darker purpose. Least it fell into the wrong hands. I swore never again to make it. But for their sake, I will break that oath. It is not like a reverse the stagnation, mind you, but it should offer some measure of relief. Soul tonic. Stares back at you. It would seem tonic has had no effect. What is this warmth I feel in my chest? Now you mustn't fret. I feel warm in my legs. They don't feel as heavy. Now then, have you noted any changes in the patients? A notable rise in body temperature and increased motor function in most of the patients at least. The more severely affected show no response. As I feared then. 'Tis true that with the restoration of night, the corruption influence of the light will no longer grow, and yes, their bodies will naturally return to equivalent in given time. But this holds true only for their corporeal ether. Their incorporeal ether, that of the soul, is not so easily mended. Which is why those in the latest stages of corruption, like Hellrick, appear unaffected by your tonic. Precisely. The boy's soul is too far gone, his mind held together by the faintest of threads. There is a chance he may one day recover, of course, but it should take years, decades even. By the gods, he would wake to find himself an old man. A fine reward for his persistence, the opportunity to mourn the life he never had a chance to live. No, there must be something we can do. Look, I realize this is not why we petition your aid, but do you think it's possible we can find a way to hasten their recovery? Maybe. Nor do I think it impossible. That in treating them, we might learn something of something to your own predicament. Okay, I need to make space. Okay, that's kind of cool looking. Oh, and it's got a little tail too. I suspect the Crystal Exile has told you of my past, that I was once a major royal court of birth. That the soulcraft was my field of study. Tonic administers to the patients. Here is one of the fruits of my labors. I hope to do great things for the kingdom, but in the end my knowledge brought only suffering, a plague the like of which none had ever seen. In the hands of an unscrupulous man, what should have been my greatest triumph instead became my greatest shame. Now you have a chance to redeem yourself. That I do. A comforting thought indeed. But let us return to the task at hand. Finding a means by which we might revitalize these people's incorporeal ether. Do you think it can be done? Where the sky is still ablaze with primordial light, it would call it an exorcist in futility. But now we may have a chance. The method I have in mind will entail the conjuring of a familiar. They are able to amplify the energies poured into them, making them the perfect conduit for the ether, revitalizing magics we will ultimately deploy. If you have to launch into a lengthy explanation of the plan, don't bother. I'd rather get on with doing whatever it is that needs to be done, if it's all the same to you. Whatever regiment, something needs to be produced, or spells invoked, I'll do it. I admire your spirit. Very well, your first task will be to gather the necessary materials. The purest of water and finest of clays, as well as Fey lantern brain with pixie magic. If you're convinced the resultant familiar could help the patient, fine. Often the water and clay will simply be enough, but I think you know what we'll have to do to get the lantern. You don't mean? The pixies took quite a liking to us before. If we humor them with our company, I'm sure they'll be willing to help us. Fine, we'll pay a visit to Ilmeg, though I never thought you would be the one to suggest going back there. I'm impressed you've been there at all, let alone befriended the Faithful. While you're about it, seek out Numo of Paladin. They will be able to supply you with the water suitable for our needs. Right, let's get this over with, shall we? That still remains the matter of the clay. Might I prevail upon you to find it? Clay from would likely be best known. Know you of anyone who might be able to assist us? Yes, they will be able to point you in the right direction, I am sure. While you and the twins are occupied, I will see if there else I can learn of the stagnate which afflicts the people here. What a coincidence. You've come at a good time. We just this moment finished repairing the Tolus and Charlie. The trolley is no problem, but the tallest would have been another matter had we not had a visit from Master Chai. He offered us a share of the leftover building materials from Do Stoneworks, as well as a few trade secrets to helping us along. Clever man, that Nuz. He seemed pretty keen on the ideas I had for putting the giant tallest to work. Like a giant trolley, but Magnus still refused to see all of the good we could do with it. You're entitled of your dreams, but that doesn't mean you can go harassing our guests with them. Master Cha was just being polite, and something tells me Gina right here didn't come all this way to talk. What does he need, my friend? I see, and this familiar requires clay from Amarang. Well, look no further. If anyone can find a quality clay, it's us. Saying that it isn't exactly comes nowadays, but there must be some lurking somewhere or other waiting to be dug up. If I am not mistaken, there was a time when they used to take clay from Mount Mine to make places swarming with KOTs now, but if you're after good stuff, you could do worse than look there. Well, if I didn't hear it, I would have missed it. Gosh. The twins have returned in one piece. At that, I was convinced the pixies would turn at least one of them into a garden ornament, but no. Yeah, the clay, I take it. Wonderful, we need but combine the clay and the water, then heat the mixture with the Fey Lantern. After that, it will be simply a matter of settling upon a suitable form and performing the necessary incantation. I have a question. In the event that we had need of this spell and you weren't around, would it be possible for another to perform the incantation? Assuming they possess the required skill, yes. I reckon the others have suffered so much, and I swore to do everything in my power to save them. If there is a chance this spell could do that, I would be the one to invoke it. Maybe you should be the one to do so. A deep understanding of the subject's physical state, combined with a strong desire to help them, can dramatically increase the magic's effect, and you are plainly more familiar with these people than I am. I dare say there are a few in all of Navret more dedicated to finding a cure. Isn't that so? Very few, but I'll just go weary. I'll see what I can. I'll give it my all. Then we are all of a mind of no matter. Alessay shall be the one to conjure the familiar. I shall hurt you.
Let us begin. I trust you prepared clay. Very good. Now, I would have you sculpt for me a porksy. Plump with floppy ears and a shook curly tail.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean. There we are. How's that?
Well, it is simply creative. There's no denying that.
Yes, I know artist. Very funny.
Hey, no mind, child. Though it may look like a grotesque parody of reality, it is what the invoker believes that matters.
You're not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality. Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the porksy's image steady in your mind's eye. Now, as I talk to you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
So cute.
With flesh of clay, I bid thee rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Not bad for a first attempt. Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric. Through the operation of the magic you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now complete with the energies required to stir the boy's soul. You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
It's so cute.
A name. All right. I've decided. Now. Go, Angelo! Mother,
Angelo. Did it work? I believe it did, and your Fledge and Flimmerley have done well. In my eyes, do not deceive, a hint of color has returned in his soul. Gods, I would jump for joy if it weren't so exhausted. We're so close now. Yes, you even now in the process of discovering this magic as much of an invoker. What you may not have realized is that the same is also true of the subject. As such, we must proceed with caution. However, with further treatment, I have the utmost confidence the boy will make a full recovery. Observing the reanimation of his stagnant soul has been most enlightening. I will need time to put my theories to the proof, but I believe I can fashion a spell to produce the opposite effect, that is, to induce stagnation, thus enabling our safe transportation back to the source. I thought it occurred to me, but this treatment said when the soul is rendered dormant, the mind is separated from the body, that a person becomes incapable of interacting with the world around them. Does that not sound like a lot like the tempered back in the source? Not only is it is the fate of most tempered to become slaves to infernal, or am I missing something? If I can master this technique, the art of something the soul, I know of at least one in the source who would desperately use such treatment. Gabu. Exactly. His condition is uncannily similar to Hellrick, is it not? The only difference being that his soul was suffered with earth aspect ether instead of light. It follows that if his soul is subject to a similar kind of stagnation, there may be a chance we can save him. Again, who is this Gabu fellow of whom you speak? I see his condition does sound similar, yet there is much and more about the soul that remains unknown even to me. I say this not to discourage you, you understand, but to remind you that this is delicate work we do here. Work requires patience. Of course, and as long as there is a hope for the patient here, I will devote whatever time is needed to see this through. But I refuse to spend the time in idleness. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay here with Angelo and continue with their treatment. The two of you should return to Gastarium and see if you can't make some headway with their newly posed theories. I'll tell you the rest first, but I see you're not to be convinced. The Fire Youth. Let us return to Gastarium then. Finally, I found you. Oh, you came all the way from... What are you doing all the way out here? Back in Elmore, Lady Chaz beside herself, sighing peace in the whole lot. Nay, enough, begged me to go find you. And hasten, you say? It must be urgent. I take it, return to the extreme alone, go on then. It's not as have anything to do. Thank you. Sorry to bother you and all that, but she says the future of Fillmore is at stake. Hey Charles, up the parlor, best not keep her waiting. Okay, let's see. Let me change up my minion to something different. I want to do one of those minions where they perch on your head or your shoulders. Who should I do? Who would perch on your head or your shoulder? Was she one of them? Or is she one of them? I think it's one of these two. I don't remember the rest, but I do know one of these two is. Well, right. Not here seems out of the ordinary, though I do not see Lady Icha anywhere. Probably pacing around outside again, staring off into the distant all that train. Let's see if we can find her and discover the source of her distress. She's got a mole right there. This does look like Lady Cha, except for the mask thing. Same outfit. So we got blue, brown, white, red. Blue, brown, white, red. Mole right there. Blue, brown, white. Yeah, it is the same, except I think the other lady's front of the dress is red. Yeah, it's a purple color. But it is definitely Lady Cha. It's definitely the same model. Absolutely the same model. They just covered up the hair on that one. Instead of removing the mole, they just left the mole.
Lady Chai, whatever is the matter?
You've got where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
Alone? What of Master Chai?
That is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
What? What happened?
It all began after the events at Mount Gold. With Lord Baldry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Yes, well, sort of. Not a simple person volunteered to stand, you see. After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well, no one wanted such responsibility. Nevertheless, you all could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant talus, none could deny his leadership qualities.
But even before then, he had proven himself a Daedalus stonework, don't forget. He's more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice. Indeed. I told him as much when his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him. For shortly after that, he vanished without a word.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee? Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
You don't think so? What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
And there you have it, Lady Chai. You needn't worry. Master Chai loves you more than all the world, and he will return. Wherever he may have gone, rest assured we will find him.
Thank you, my dear boy. You have set my mind at ease. I will trust in my husband and await his return.
Okay. I'll start up the quest, and then I'll head out for the night. It's already 12 o'clock. I don't really like streaming past 12 because I still like to get some movies or videos or stuff in before I go to sleep at 2 o'clock. Makes no sense for Master Child to have left without a word, but even if he had got someone here will have seen something, I'm sure of it. We'll split up and reprieve as to whether anyone saw him leave or feel that if they have any idea where he might have gone, I will meet you at the glory gate. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna head up for the night here.